an 8-week course, and it's taught by New England Institute professors. We have guest speakers from the current industries, and we do end the 8th week with career counseling. The Director of Career Services at New England Institute attends the last class, sets up appointments with people that want to talk further about where do I go from here. And there is a cost to it, but they have pretty much slashed in half their normal costs. So it's $275 for an 8-week course, and people can go to collegeonthelawn.com to register for that. Are
you affiliated with them, with just Plymouth Rock Studios? Or
at this point, we're co-hosting the workshop.
Okay.
Yeah, we've discussed their curriculum, and they've come in, and we're having discussions with a lot of different schools.
So that's a great step for somebody who has never been in the business and they're interested in it.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
I want to take it at some point. Just to find out more about production, you know. I mean, I'm in the educational side of things, and I have a vague, overview, but I think it's a great course for anybody.
So let me ask you that. When you say you have an education background, is this the first time you've worked for entertainment?
Yes.
What did you work for before?
Well, I taught I taught middle school in New Zealand, actually, for a couple of years over there. And I was working in executive recruiting back here for about 4 years. And when I started working at the studio, I was in the middle of my master's for middle school education. I was certified to teach math.
So how did you end up getting the job here?
I was following the story of the executives coming to Massachusetts to find a location for the studio, and they got closer and closer to the South Shore, and then all of a sudden it was in my own town, which was surreal and a little bizarre because I've always had a passion for the arts, and so this was definitely an interest of mine. And I started going to the planning board meetings and the informational sessions to find out more about it. And after one of the sessions, I had a conversation with David Kirkpatrick, who's the head of the studio, and we actually discussed films in New Zealand and had a good talk about that and myself as a teacher. And we just set up a meeting after that, and I came on board. I actually started in the production side of things. And then as the educational cooperative needed more attention, I transitioned over to there to really start some programs and relationships with schools.
That's great. Do you happen to know anybody who now works for Plymouth Rock Studios who was ever involved with any major productions, even away from here?
I'm confused about the question. So you mean like the head of the studio, were they involved with?
Was anybody here work on a Die Hard 2 or a major studio?
David has worked on hundreds of films. 180 of them I think have been nominated for Oscars.
Really?
And
Emmys
and Independent Spirit Awards and Golden Globes. He's worked on everything from Top Gun to Forrest Gump. And Little Mermaid, the Indiana Jones series. He was the only man in Hollywood history to simultaneously head production of 2 studios, Touchstone and Disney.
Oh, that's great.
So he's the depth of his experience is amazing. And Earl Letts was the president of the studio groups for Paramount for close to 20 years. And Rayanne Del Pozo, who's our senior vice president of operations, has been working in the film industry since she was 19. She started at when Paramount was Desi Lou.
Oh, really? Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. And I think her father worked for MGM, the Metro Goldwyn Mayer studio at the time. So she's seen it all. We've got some great. We got a couple legends here, and they really they're really steering the ship.
That's wonderful. What is the number one question you actually get when you're outside of here and people know where you work?
I would say it's what I said before about I really want to work with the studio. What can I do there? Okay. This is something that's of so much interest to people, and it's that kind of industry that people want to be a part of because it has to do with arts and culture and entertainment, and so I get that a lot. And my answer is getting better and better as we have more and more programs and workshops. there's more to tell them. So it's really good. And one last thing I wanted to mention, if you don't mind, as far as Rock Education working with the community, we're partners with the Best Buddies program, which places people with intellectual disabilities into the workplace. That's one of their 6 programs, actually. That's the one we work with, is the Jobs program. And we hired our first Best Buddy at the beginning of June, a man from Scituate with Down syndrome, and his name's Peter Johnson, and he's amazing.
What does he do?
He's an office coordinator because he is a jack of all trades. He literally changes the environment when he comes to the office. He has just such a positive effect, and the benefits are mutual for employer and employee. And we hope he's the first of many. And we want to encourage our tenants to hire Best Buddies, people that come to the studio to learn more about Best Buddies.
It's a great program. It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Sure.